Hi, I'm Kelly from InSeason, and today we're going to make a cute little wreath. For today's purposes, just a small wreath, but this is the same technique if you wanted to use a larger wreath. Today we're just going to be using a piece that I have covered a ring with macrame string, and I find it easier when you're using your wire to wrap around the wreath. It just helps to hold it in place and it doesn't slip as easily as if it was just the metal. This is the string that I've used on this piece, available from Spotlight, and then if you wanted a more rustic look you could use the jute string as well. So this is a little 20 centimetre wreath, and I'm thinking something cute to hang in a bedroom, or it could be a little kitchen piece. Doesn't take up too much room. So I have just gone through and just wound the string around and made sure it holds fairly tightly together so there's no gaps coming through with the gold. The other ingredient that we need that's fairly important is this quite tiny little wire, and it is I think it's a 16 gauge, very, very fine. So firstly we're going to just tie this on, and where I've got the join for the macrame string, that's where I'm going to start, because I definitely want to cover that piece. And we're just going to go about halfway around, and you could have, today we're just going to put the flowers through this middle piece, or you could go side on to make it like a moon shape. So I am right-handed, and I'm going to be working with the wire, holding it in my right hand. When I've done little workshops before, it's good to know which hand is going to be the easiest to work with to work the string, because the wire, because you have to pull it fairly firmly. So I've just tied like a little wreath knot, left over right, right over left. I'm going to work into the wreath, into the hoop, and back through and pull it firmly this way. So I'm holding it with my left hand and working the wire with my right hand. That's if you're right-handed, just a handy tip there. So today we've got, I love this ruscus. This is the white ruscus from InSeason. We have some Ming, which is a great little fluffy filler flower. We're going to be working with Nigella, some billy buttons, bunny tails, a beautiful rice flower, and I've also got some little pieces of mountain fern, which is quite wispy and lovely as well, and just the most delicate little pieces of spring flower, and this comes in a white, natural and cream. I've started to put some little pieces together so that once you get into a routine you've got everything at your fingertips. So we're going to create some little sprays, and by that I mean just little clusters of flowers. And the other thing to look at is see the shape of this piece. So we want it to emulate or follow the shape of the hoop rather than going this way. So if we look at the shape before we place it, we know that that has a lovely curved shape to follow the flow of the design. So here's an example of just a little spray, and we're going to make a series of those and place them all the way along in the same direction as the wreath. I'm going to bring my hand inside, and as you can see I'm just going to go about 3 rounds with the wire. Pull it fairly firmly as you go. Go another one. So I've got a little piece like that. So we've just made a start, and then I'm going to gather. I like to go quite randomly around the hoop, so it doesn't need to look too much like a polka dot. So don't have one red flower here, one white flower, one red. You might do 2 red flowers and 1 white and 2 reds, or white and cream and pink. So the next step is we take the next little spray that we've created, some mountain fern, rice flower, and I've got a touch of white or cream tea tree, and I'm going to place the next little spray slightly over the top of the first piece and simply wrap around, pull it firmly. 1, 2, and 3. And this is why it's great to have it on a spool so you're not running out of wire each time. And then I've also got some gorgeous preserved hydrangea. This one's called Oregano Pink. So we're going to think about our eye moving around the design and where the focal point might be. So the larger pieces of hydrangea might be useful to do that as we get to the bottom of the wreath. So once again, pulling that through, another piece, and I'll just show you the back there. So it's reasonably neat and covered, and we just want to make sure when we are working with the design that we are filling in the top part, and I can see some gaps there that I can go back through, and also covering the base here to cover the wreath. So when you're looking at it from a wall piece, or if you're sitting down, you're not seeing all the wire and gaps coming through. I'm going to take it just through the bottom there, so we're covering that a little bit more so the wire's not showing. And so doing little clusters helps to make it look quite natural. Now if we see any gaps at the end, this is where the cold glue or a hot glue gun comes in really handy. So we can go through and just fill in some little gaps at the end. So I'm holding it in my left hand, catching the stem as I go and overlapping the last piece that we used. And just to give you an idea, that's how we're looking so far. And I actually think we've missed some pieces that we could add a little belly button to. So once again, I'm just going to glue the base of that with my cold glue. Dry it a little bit, and I'm going to position that in there. Just add a little bit more interest in there. Just looking through here, I can see some gaps I want to fill. And as I say, it's quite nice to put them in as a cluster, or in groups of 3s. Use a little bit of mountain fern, and we're nearly done. As I say, we're just doing a half one, or we're getting to a point where we think we've done enough. You can actually go all the way around. That's where we're at the moment. I'll just show you, I'm actually going to finish it off with a nice piece of silk ribbon, but if you don't want to use ribbon to end the piece off, we would just make another little spray, and we would place, actually I'm going to place that anyway, this way, I quite like that. So this is a good way to finish it off, and I'm going to just do a couple of half knots. So we're almost done. I think that's quite cute. And so I'm just going to take my ribbon. Alternatively, we do have some straw flowers in the range, and we could get some glue and glue those pieces in, but I'm just going to finish it off today with a little bit of ribbon, add another texture to the design, and when it's hanging it can just trail down the wall. be a little cute little bow, and that just gives you another little idea. So that's our piece there.